Hello, 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 hello. I'm Lynn Browder, and I have a son, Owen, who is 13 and has autism. We paint together, working on his fine motor skills. He has come so incredibly far. He likes to do a lot of this on his own, and we go back then, kind of smooth out the edges and work on some of his other skills. So oh my, I have so many things on my mind because, as a special needs parent, my goal is to give Owen as many skills as I possibly can. I am trying to grow my son into the adult that he's going to be, which means doing things and learning things that are hard. But I know he can do it and is doing it. I try to give him as many opportunities of the things he likes to do, wants to do, but I've had a lot of people say I should not make him do art. I should not have him paint the backgrounds with me and not use adaptive tools or other things. I breathe, I sigh, I breathe. School, that is for teaching. That is for, learning these skills. That is for adapting the way that you do things. That is for going through lots of different emotions and motions in numerous ways. So, someone told me that I should not be doing this with him because of these skills. It's mind-boggling to me when people say this, because we are trying to teach a baby how to walk and crawl and walk and eat the proper foods and do these things, and there's orders and there's ways of doing it. I'm a little fired up about this because you get in these motions where we have so many set ways of doing something. It's just pain. We'll fix this. But the thing about it is Owen would prefer to use his hands to eat his food, to not write, to not do certain, skills. He's still learning he's 13. He's still learning how to put his shirt on. He's still learning, how to use utensils. He's still learning how to write his name. And those are skills that, as the mama, I want him to be able to do without me. Because as much as I want to be here for every single day of my son's amazing journey, I'm human. we are human. And so we must help our kids in every way possible. And I don't share our art and the fact that my son has come from me holding his arm like this, putting my arm here and putting my arm here in different time frames throughout his life. I mean, literally just touching his arm to help him guide painting, to get him to understand that he could use his hands. Because he would literally take my hand and use my finger to point to something. He would grab it and put it on the thing because he didn't understand how his hands worked. He had to learn every bit of that. And again, he's 13. So he has come, I mean, the amount of work he has done in his therapies, in his school, with his church people, with me, with family, with friends, just the amount of work that he has done to learn to use his hands is incredible. Now, the things that we don't generally talk about are things like going to the bathroom. I mean, he needs to know how to use the restroom properly, okay? Your hands, or another method, an adaptive method, are the way you go to the bathroom. It's not something I spend a lot of time talking on YouTube, Facebook, all of the, the social networks, everything. Because again, it's an emotional part of the journey for me. And it's an emotional thing that is my son's journey. And I don't always want to dwell on it or talk about it or think about it. And I did a lot more when he was younger because I wanted people to understand the process and how long it takes him to understand how to do something. Now, my son was given the original diagnosis of moderate to severe and more severe on the spectrum and was told to me that he probably wouldn't talk. Not only does he talk, he talks and understands more languages than I could even imagine. And I can't even tell you how many languages he knows or understands. There's not one way I could explain it to any of, to even get, like, I don't even have an idea of how many languages my son, the one that the doctor said probably won't talk. But I told him every day that he could talk, he could do anything he set his mind to, he just had to do it. He just had to find a place in his brain and do this. So when someone says to me that I'm just another parent trying to make money off of this process, I can tell you right now, the amount of money that I spend on art supplies per month and my website and everything is 99.9% more than I make off of my paintings. I sell very few. I mean, if I sell one every other month, that is a good year. If I literally, I make no money off my paintings. I'm well in the hole on so much of it. So I am trying to share our journey, share our story, share my breast cancer journey, just so that others know they are not alone. My son is the world to me. My son is why I started painting. Painting has absolutely given me more than I'm sure it will ever give him. But now he is excited about doing scribble art monsters and other scribble art. He is, like I said, amazing at languages. He is, I consider, one of the best musicians. He taught himself how to play the harmonica. I mean, he doesn't understand song yet, how to formulate a song, how to song. But for someone that doesn't understand how to write a song, he plays all up and down the harmonica and did this on his own. I didn't teach him how to. I handed him the harmonica. Showed him how he has to blow the notes. I showed him how to make the sounds in the sense of what he would do. Then I showed him YouTube videos. And he taught himself. You ask him what his favorite instrument is, and he will tell you the harmonica and the ukulele. And occasionally he will say drum. He has guitar, he has a ukulele, he has a violin, he has a keyboard, multiple drums, many harmonicas, and shaker instruments, and you name it. I've got little versions of some things, regular size versions of other things. And to me, it was important to give my son that opportunity to see if he likes it. We played baseball. He did. I signed him up for special needs league, baseball, and soccer. He went and laid on the field for both of those. He did not want to do it again. He asks about it all the time, and I say, do you want to go back to soccer, to baseball? And his response is no. My son loves swimming. My son loves bowling. Those are things that we go and do. My son wants to go 3 times around the block to look at the blue church. That's not a blue church. It is a church that has stained glass windows, and I assume he calls it the blue church because the sky shows on the stained glass windows and makes it this big blue light coming from the church. That's my assumption. Took me a long time to figure out why he called another church the Skeleton, and it's because it has a big pane window that's framed out with wood, white wood, or white whatever it is. I'm not a great window explainer, but it has like panes and thickness between them that I'm assuming he calls it the Skeleton because of that. My son is brilliant, but my son does not know how to use his hands. He's learning. He asks every night. I have scissors. I don't know if they're in the picture, but I have scissors over here that every night he asks, cut the paper with scissors, cut the paper with scissors. He says, one more time, one more time, one more time. And he wants to keep cutting them until they're these little tiny pieces, and we work on that. We have them in 6-8 colors. I don't know, I've got more in different places. And they're safety scissors for kids, and he wants to go through and cut the paper with scissors. So that is something every single night he gets so excited about cutting the paper with scissors. I don't try to make my son have these chores that he has to paint. I paint every night. He only paints once or twice a week. He paints scribble monsters, and he scribbles on his Etch-a-Sketch, and he scribbles on his whiteboard, and he scribbles on his paper. And he talks about how funny it is to scribble, and that his teachers will be proud, and he laughs because he knows that scribbling is a funny thing, and that he needs to write or type or something so that he can express his story and his journey and his ideas and share it with who he wants to share it with. So we put everyone kind of in this bubble of, we must do this, we must call autism these terms, we must. My goal is never once to offend someone else's journey, what they've been through, how they think of autism, what they say, if it's autistic or autism, my autistic son, my son with autism, all the rules. We have so many. All I want to do is love my son with all my heart and give to him as much as I can. That's what I didn't want to do. I do not use my son to get views. If you look, if you look at how many views I have on my videos, all of them, it's, occasionally I think one of my shorts might have gotten up in the 10,000 range. One of them. I think usually they're almost all under 4,000, and definitely usually in the 100, 200, 300 range. So it's not, if my story and this journey is reaching one person, that is what I want. That is what I want, because it's a lot about my emotions, some about his, and being up since 1 o'clock in the morning, listening to him scream because he can't go to grandma's at 1 o'clock in the morning because he doesn't completely yet understand time, even though he understands time, and me having breast cancer, and how much my breast cancer journey is about making my son happy during those moments, because mommy no longer has yellow hair and I have growing in gray curly hair when I had waist length blonde, fake blonde, blonde hair. So I pour my soul, my heart and soul into awareness, into talking about things, because I'm not here on this to pat myself on the back and say Owen can now write OWNN instead of EN, because he was doing E's the right way and now he's back to not doing them. I'm here to say that I am going to try every single type of tool, every single type of thing that I think Owen's not going to reject, because I want to keep trying. And of course, there's money limitations, life limitations, time limitations, but I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going, and I am going to keep trying to turn that person's mind around that says art is not a good idea. Art is not what would make my son happy. When you watch for 5 minutes, 30 minutes, and you don't know all of the things that got us to this point. I thank everyone that's been on this journey with us and support us and love us, and just the awareness and the change, and seeing how much my sweet baby O has grown. And he is making incredible, incredible decisions. He is making incredible changes in his life. He is driving the vocabulary train. And as parents, as teachers, as people that are working with humans, people, kids, we have to give them the sources. Had I never shown him Siri and all of them to be able to speak, he would have never been able to show me Google Earth, which I showed him that, and to pull up the field that they had the Special Olympics on, bring it to me, show it to me, and tell me, Owen's never going to this again. Owen, no going. Owen, no going. Owen, no going. And he said he did not want to go to the Special Olympics. Google Earth is an amazing tool that has shown so many new things to my son and allowed my son to be able to change his world. I had talked to his teacher about any field trip that he didn't want to go because he seemed like he was not like that type of thing. It was too overstimulating. It was too different because school time is school time. Activities like that are not in that, and it was probably overwhelming for him to go see all of these kids on the fields going in every direction, and that's probably why he didn't like soccer and baseball, because it was just too stimulating. So we try something. If it doesn't work, we can't be hard on ourselves. Others shouldn't be hard on us, because how am I supposed to know that my son does not want to go to this field unless he communicates that to me in some shape, fashion, idea? He never cried when he was at the field. He just, he wouldn't always do the things, and he didn't want to go. He didn't want to go. So this part is for him. This part is why I do this. The background is made with Owen. The background is why I paint. One day we'll sit here, and the reason I don't have a lot of his things on here is because he's not wanting to sit in one place sometimes for more than 30 seconds to do something, and he'll come back, and he'll come back, and he'll come back. So it's a lot of putting pieces together to create his art. And again, this is so much about my emotions. I just share our story while I'm painting. So this story, this means so much to me as a mother of a child that the doctor said to me may not talk, may not be able to do anything, may not be able to do. And I want him, and I want every kid and every adult, me included, to know that we can do things. We can be whoever we need to be. All we have to do is have love and support in this world and continue to grow. If I didn't stick a paintbrush in my son's hands, how would I ever know if he liked it or he didn't? How would I ever know if I didn't stick a triangle on my paintbrush, if that would help him? Or if I put a rubber band, or if I put some holder on it, or if I held his arm. And we've tried so many different ways. And now my son takes a big paintbrush. Oh, see? There you go. A big paintbrush. And he paints the backgrounds, and then we find ways to smooth it out. It's not perfect. There's paint that's not here. There's paint that's going this direction. There's end of the paint. There's dribbles. There's all kinds of stuff. But guess what? His mama and him, we did it together. So O is for Owen, the amazing, sweet baby O that has changed my life, changed my world, and I would do anything for him. LPB. Well, LB, no P. So, this is our falling masterpiece, our falling waterfall. I don't know what I'll name it. Falling waterfall. But Owen helped me. He helped me grow with art. And if I can share this painting with one person that looks at it and says, I know a little bit more about autism, and the mama that's been up at 1 o'clock in the morning to help her son understand timing, and that grandma isn't available at 1 o'clock. That's what this is about. That's what this is about. So I truly thank you for being on the journey with us. Truly thank you for being supportive over the years and loving our art, loving the story behind the art, and not judging me as a mom that's using a paintbrush to get my son's fine motor skills to another level where he couldn't even use a spoon, couldn't even use a pen or a pencil or. Opening a door took him years to understand and open. I never had child-proof locks on any of my cabinets because he couldn't open them. He couldn't open those cabinets. It took years. It took years until I had to child-proof anything. But my son, he changed my world. He changed my world. So thank you. Thank you for believing in us. Thank you for walking on the journey with us. Thank you for sharing our story. And best of all, thank you for those that are kind to my soul and my son's amazing, amazing world. Toodles, toodles. Have a great rest of your day.